Good morning, friends! Welcome back to Empires and Puzzles, and of course, this brings us a brand new day and a new portal. Untold Tales 2 has rolled around for this month, and the new release is going to be Dularfulr. Now, she is a big fan favorite, and normally I haven't really been taking the time to review these costumes, mostly because they've been pretty much identical to the original, just with increased stats. Well, they decided to change pace. There was a lot of complaints and everything else about how they felt like there wasn't enough change in these costumes, whether it be the class remaining the same or no tweaks really to the special, just a little bit of increased power. And I guess they took all of those comments to heart and have decided to change things around. And I think this is a perfect example of be careful what you wish for. Dularfulr is personally one of my favorite characters in this particular portal, and the changes they've made to her are intriguing and not necessarily in a good way. So that being said, I felt like there was enough change that it warranted a review video. So here we are. Let's get into it. So first things first, we did change our class from cleric to paladin. So we are losing the protection of mana shield, which is not particularly great, but we do get the trade-off of having additional armor from the paladin buff as well. So there you go. Losing all the protections against messing with specials for some increased armor. That already is my first, not so excited. Molten Core pretty much remains the same. So we'll go down here to our passives package. We have the Empowered Resist Burn. This character will resist burn damage and then gain 600 boosted health and 10% mana each time they resist. This is cool. We like the increased boosted health and 10% mana each time they take burn damage. That's fun. Then we also have the Molten Core, which does damage up to 542. Did that change? Yeah, 487. So we do get a slight increase to the amount of burn damage per turn maximum. And that makes sense because as the attack stat goes up, the burn damage will go up and there will be increased stats for this character. Okay. Over in the Aether Power department, we are getting defense up. This is a change from special armor. So instead of defense against special skills specifically, we just get defense across the board. Fine, that's pretty negligible in its change. All right. Down into the special, however, we get Knight's Collaboration. So operating at fast speed, we are now getting all allies regenerate 1300 HP over 4 turns. All allies get the Firestorm Ward, which reduces incoming special skill damage by 1400, reduces damage by an additional 30% when the attacker is of the nature element. All allies are immune to new status ailments for 4 turns, and recover 300 health for each attempted status ailment. Okay, so this is where my frustration lies, and where I think they kind of maybe did this on purpose to show people that change isn't always necessarily good. So we changed Dularfulr here from a straight 30% heal at her base to a heal over time for 4 turns in her new costume. This is a direct downgrade, okay? I will say that clearly and without question, it is a direct downgrade. Because one, here you get a 30% heal at fast speed, right? That's good. It's going to heal you immediately. You don't have to wait for the effect. It can bring your guys back up so they can survive more specials, etc. And on the off chance that you hit a cascade next turn and you're fully powered up your fast speed special again, you can heal immediately the next turn for another 30% health, right? In which case you just did 60% health over 2 turns. That's part of what makes Dularfulr as powerful as she is her healing potential. In the costume version, if you cast your heal over time, you have to wait 4 turns for this healing to go into full effect. In this same scenario where you get a cascade the following turn and maybe your special comes back up again, if you cast your special again the next turn, you are going to be overwriting and wasting 3 turns of your previous heal over time to just put a new heal over time on again. You get no additional boost, no additional health up front. This heal over time is not boosted health. So if your characters are already at max health, it does nothing for them, really. I don't understand. This is clearly, in my opinion, a direct downgrade. You also face the idea that this heal over time can be dispelled off of your guys. A direct heal here is not going to be the same way, correct? So, the reality is I just don't see where this could possibly be considered an upgrade over the original version. In fact, if I pull this costume, it's really just going to probably be for stats, and I'll continue to use her cleric base. You do get an increase to your Firestorm ward. Here in her base, she only got 1,300 down. Whoops, sorry. In her new version, she gets 1,400 down. So she gets an additional 100 off of the special skill damage, which is fine. And there is one additional bonus here in the fact that in her base form, it says all of your allies are immune to status ailments. In this form, they're all immune to status ailments and gain 300 health for each attempted status ailment. So I guess you can say, well, they're getting some healing for the attempted status ailment effects. Okay, but in reality, like, how many attempted status ailment effects are going off? Well, you know your opponent has debuff immunity. Like, I usually attempt to save my specials that will do a debuff until after the debuff immunity falls off. Like, I'll wait an extra turn or two to let that buff fall off and then hit them with debuffs. Or I'll wait till a dispel comes up so I can clear that and then hit them with the debuffs. I usually don't throw the debuffs at them knowing it's not going to land. And I understand that on offense, maybe this is different because you're fighting an AI and the AI isn't going to make those same decisions. But on defense, I think most savvy players will work around this new aspect of this special and not really be that fazed by it. Like, there's just not a lot to love about how they redid her costume. And it makes me envious of the days where there weren't changes, right? Like, if you look at Ott, for example, he's basically the exact same thing, same class, same special, same everything, just increased in his effectiveness, which made him very good, right? He's a very good healer because he was designed well the first time around. All right, well, I wish we could have had the same treatment for Dularfulr at this point because what we had was a very well-designed healer here. And then the costume comes out and they're like, let's change the class. Let's do a heal over time instead of a direct heal. Like literally, what the heck? Like, they took, it's like driving around in a Mercedes Benz and then being like, let's reskin it into a Chevy or something, right? Like, you're just like, what are we doing? Why would we take such a classic vehicle and then turn it into like something more basic? And that's what I feel like we got here. We got like a classic, well-designed hero turned into something that is like, okay, but why do I want okay, right? Like, I don't understand. But this is what the people asked for. So I guess that's the final point I want to make out of this entire video, is that we asked for this. The complaints on the forums, all of the things saying, oh, you guys didn't do anything with these costumes, it's boring, it's lazy, it's whatever, right? Remember, all of that complaining created change. But the grass is not always greener on the other side. And in this particular case, I believe this is their way of showing us that sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. Be careful what you ask for. And like, I guess this is Dularfulr. This is what happens. Like, at least she still has her base form. She could give her the increased stats. And like, I would say that most likely 90 to 95% of players will continue to use her cleric form. There might be some trickery that people try to pull off with this paladin form version, but I don't see where it's better. Okay, so anyway, that's my 2 cents on this. Dularfulr is still an awesome hero, and if you get her increased stats and just use her in her base cleric form, she's still going to be a nightmare to handle. So, grats to everyone who does pull her, and I do appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.